Me and my girlfriend met when I was a year away from finishing grad school. She worked but was in debt because of an ex-boyfriend. When I graduated, we moved to DC for my new job, and I bought a house in my name. 2.5 years later, we got married, and we got along great. We shared activities, friends, and started talking about having children. When we hit the 3-year mark after our wedding, things started to get tense around the house. It was odd because we never really argued. Didn't have any money problems, but still things felt off. We had a few minor spats for no reason, which wasn't normal for us. In the middle of August, she said she was going away for the weekend, and said she wanted to go to a Delaware beach to clear her head. I asked if I could come along, and said that she didn't have to talk to me, and that we could just relax and get back on track, but she said no. She needed to be by herself. She said that she'd be going after work on a Friday, but would be back after work on Monday. On the Saturday, I get an email that was addressed to her. It was from Howard Johnson Hotel in Virginia Beach, not one of the Delaware beaches she said she was going to. Anyway, I opened it, and it was a reservation for a room over the weekend. I called the hotel and asked for my wife's room, and when they put me through, a guy answered. I asked if this was room 33, which was the number on her reservation, and the guy said, "No, it's room 512. I hung up and called the hotel again, and asked for room 512, but I was told that no such room existed. Again, I asked for room 33, and I was put through, but this time my wife answered the call. I asked her what was going on, and after some evading and vagueness, she admitted that she was there with a guy. I was shocked. My blood ran cold, as this came hard and fast out of left field. I said that she needs to come home because we need to talk, but she went on to say that she already had the room for the weekend. I thought about driving down to see her, which would have been a 4-hour drive, but I realized that I was in no condition to do so. I was home alone, freaking out, but I tried to keep myself together as best as I could. On the Monday evening, she comes home from work, super tense. I had a lot of questions for her, but I got very few answers. I told her that we needed couples counseling to figure this out because I still wanted to fix what we had. She reluctantly agreed to counseling after a while, but said that she wanted to keep seeing this guy. I let her know that this wouldn't work and that we needed to deal with us, but she didn't agree and decided to pack a few of her things and leave. I had a week-long conference in London at the start of September, and a few days before that, she showed up with a couple of mutual friends and a U-Haul. She quickly packed all her things and left, and there was no issue regarding who kept what. She had her own car and bank account. I paid the mortgage and utilities. My dad came down from Boston the next day to house sit while I was away. I needed someone to watch the cats. I ended up having a fun time in London, and when I got back, I was able to have a fresh start in my home now that I lived alone. We did an uncontested divorce using a mediator, and drew up a property settlement that basically reflected how we already split things. She didn't claim any part of the house or my retirement plan, she just left with her stuff. I saw her one more time, which is when we met to sign the final divorce papers a year later, so it was a pretty clean break. Unexpected and devastating, but clean. In the end, she stayed with the guy she cheated on me with, who was someone she met through work. Unfortunately, though, I was told by a friend that a few years later he self-deleted in front of her. Wow.
The part about this story that made me cringe the most was when OP wanted to do counseling with his wife after she cheated on him. The cheating was awful, but the fact that she stayed with the guy for the whole weekend spoke volumes as to how much she respected OP. While her partner was home struggling, she continued having the time of her life with another guy. It really doesn't get much lower than that. Anyway, let's quickly check out the comments.
Me too, neither says. My ex cheated and left me for a coworker of hers in 1996, and he ended up dumping her because he wouldn't date a cheater. The best part is, her best friend cut contact with her, became my best friend, and we eventually got married. We've been married for 25 years now. Well, man says, you did the pick-me dance for your ex. Never ever do that again, OP. Doing the pick-me dance shows weakness and a severe lack of self-respect, and believe me, women don't respect that crap. Either way, you're free from such a vile woman, and it looks like her affair partner had enough of her, to the point he had enough of himself too. Just work on yourself and forget about relationships for a while. From what I see and hear, the dating pool is pretty poisoned.
The last Redditor is right. The world of dating is a tough thing to navigate these days, as it seems like everything is out to destroy what you're trying to build. That said, if you keep your eye out for any red flags and are willing to make the hard choices, you'll be able to find someone who won't ruin your life. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.